Hello and welcome back to Simrody Rides Motorbikes. I think we can all agree that Ducati makes some of the most exciting bikes in the world, and I'm very fortunate to have ridden pretty much every road-going Ducati there is. However, there's one thing I've never done, and that is ride them on track. So I've come to Donington Park, courtesy of Pirelli and Ducati, to find out which is the most fun Ducati for someone with novice track skills like myself. So I'm going to be riding Street Fighter V2, Panigale V2, Panigale V4s, and a Supersport and a Monster. And I mean, I've ridden all of those on the road. I just want to find out, as a newbie, which one is most appealing on track? Am I going to be terrified by the power of a Panigale V4s? Am I going to prefer the V2? Maybe I'll prefer the Supersport. I don't know. It's a big jolly day out, frankly, and this is my video. Let's go. Oh yeah, and World Superbikes were here yesterday. They're slowly packing up. I'm not sure Hyundai is in it because it doesn't make motorbikes, but anyway, let's go. Session at Donington Park ever, and I'm going to take a bike that's very familiar to me and that I've liked on the channel before, the Street Fighter V2. I'm just going to go something with a slightly more upright riding position than a full-on sports bike and an engine that I know and love very well. So yeah, let's see how we go. I can't talk while I'm riding, so this will just be some onboard stuff, possibly with voiceover if I can be bothered. I'm quite warm. It's 36 degrees today and I'm a white British bloke with no hair, so I'm going to be a little melted puddle on the floor by the time we're finished.
The Street Fighter V2 was really just my learning tool for the track, and being upright helped me spot my braking markers and turning points. Not that you'd really know it by the fact that my lines are wobblier than an ocean-going drug addict. Anyway, here's some noise for you to enjoy.
It's a bit noisy because there's a track day going on, but I've just done my very first session on my Street Fighter V2, and it was nice to be on something a bit upright so I can actually see where I'm going. First time riding Donington, it's very uppy downy, but thanks to Ride 4 on the Xbox, I vaguely knew which way I was going, which was very handy. It's just getting used to all the space you've got on track. How much of the track do I use? So I'm doing another video on my novice track riding tips with Chad, so I was following him for a bit, then he followed me, but really that wasn't a proper session. It was mostly at sighting lap speeds, but so far loads of punch out corners, lovely first gear wheelies out of the hairpin, and I got my toe down coming up to start finish straight, and my feet were properly on the peg, so slight ground clearance problems, but we'll deal with that by being less rubbish. Anyway, Street Fighter V2, first impression at Donington, lovely friendly thing with loads of poke that can keep up everything in a straight line, so long as you're prepared to hold on. It's really noisy.
Next up, I headed out on Panigale V2, so basically the same 150 horsepower engine as in the Street Fighter V2, but with more of a track-friendly riding position. Just being leant over helped me deal with my upper body a bit better on track. You see me following Chad here, get my lines right. He takes a lot of curb there. I never got brave enough to do that because I've got a phobia of paint, apparently. And you're about to see me in a little race with this S1000R on the left. He gets his front wheel in the air, and the Panigale V2 is kind of keeping up with him. Just, sort of. Good bike.
I've just done my second session of the day at Donington. I hopped on the Panigale V2 because I was struggling with the top half of my body position in the first session. And I have to say, naked bikes are fun, but on a track, I kind of find them much harder work than on a sports bike. Now this is brilliant. I love the engine on this, so much grunt. You can just kind of keep up with almost anything on one of these. But the corner speed you can carry on this is the most impressive thing. And it's made me feel kind of much more comfortable mid-corner. Could be more supportive on the brakes. Can't really grip onto the tank much in the heavy braking zones and I'm sitting up, so my arms are pretty knackered, to be honest, from holding on the brakes. And again, I was following Chad around and he followed me around for a bit. But yeah, it's good, really confidence inspiring, got both my knees down, felt really good. It's got a really friendly flat torque curve as well, so on corner exit, you can really get on the gas quite hard, quite early, and it just looks after you. I was running in race mode, so still got the electronics switched on. Quick shifter and blip is just super natural, not supernatural, super space natural, and just felt really good. But yeah, that is it. Really, really friendly track bike.
Then it's time to step up onto the Panigale V4s, and I'll shut up and let you hear it in a minute, but what you can't see or hear is the heat pouring off it. It's 39 degrees C air temperature, and when you had your chin on the tank 140 miles an hour, you just got a face full of boiling air from the engine. It's ridiculous the amount of heat this bike puts out, and this footage is actually from my last session of the day when I was completely knackered and not going very well. I lost all the footage when I was actually good and fast. You have to take my word for that.
Right, third session done, and I took out the Panigale V4, Big Daddy. I wasn't actually going to ride this until later, but I thought it's got a slightly wider tank, so I thought it'd be a bit friendlier than the V2 for bracing myself on the brakes, and it was. It was actually, oddly, a lot more relaxing to ride for me, being 6'3" and a bit of a lump, than the V2 Panigale. There's more to hang on to, and also, it's just, I don't know, slightly smoother, you've got more revs to play with, changing gear less often. There's just less to think about, and Ducati says I keep softening this off to make it easier to ride for novices like me, and you know what? It bloody is. So far, this is my favourite bike that I've ridden today, because it's easy, not because it's really fast. And I'm probably going at the same speed as I was on the Panigale V2, but I'm getting less knackered doing it. Might be that I'm just getting used to it and my legs are limbering up. But so far, Panigale V4 might be my winner, which is good because it's really affordable at £25,000. It's quite hot. I've just had lunch. I ate quite a lot of sausage. Next bike I'm going to try to ease myself back into the afternoon is the Supersport 950S. I really liked it on the road earlier this year. It'd be interesting to see what it's like as a track bike, especially comparing it to the Panigale V4, which obviously is not a competitor. But yeah, we'll see. It might be a bit soft, might not have as much ground clearance. Ground clearance? Can't do my words. But anyway, let's cut to me riding the Supersport and see how we get on.
Stepping down from 215 horsepower to 115 wasn't actually the massive jump you'd expect, certainly at my novice pace, and I love how punchy the Supersport's engine is down low. You just sort of have to adjust to a lower rev limit than on the Panigale V2. Oh, look at this! There's a plane! The shadow of a plane! It's just to distract you from how slow I am.
Just done my fifth session. I was at sixth, kind of lost track on the Supersport 950S, and to be honest, I only did 4 laps on it because my toes were decking out in all the fast stuff, and I don't really like that feeling. So it is probably, for me at the moment, too softly sprung for track stuff. So yeah, and also the seat shape, it's more soft, it's more road biased, and I just couldn't move around on it how I wanted to. The seat's quite low. I actually got cramp in my thighs riding this, which I'm an old man, so these things happen, but I've never had it on a track day. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I just prefer it on the road to the track, which I think is probably fair enough. It feels a little bit out of its depth on track at my low, slow pace.
Before we wrap things up with the conclusion, I just want to reiterate that I came here to give a novice's perspective on Ducati's top bikes on track, and the reason you've not seen any outrageously fast track footage is because I'm not outrageously fast on track. I'm a total novice. But everything that you are about to hear is from an experienced road rider who's ridden all of these bikes a lot on the road with cowpats, potholes, puddles, kittens, that sort of thing. So I'm just interested to see how different they feel when you're on track wearing the bovine onesie. Big thanks to Pirelli for the day as well. The super courses on the Panigale V4 are a big part of the confidence I had on that bike. They lapped up the heat and they just helped me forget about the fact I was on a ludicrous 215.5 horsepower bike, laying dark lines out of each corner, according to Chad, probably just said that for my ego. And at no point during the day did I have anything other than full confidence in my rubber, so to speak. Anyway, conclusion time. Prepare for me being very sweaty. Sorry.
Right, that's the end of my day at Donington riding the sporty Ducati. Sorry, it's been a bit of a hodgepodge video. It's been quite busy. I've been having quite a lot of fun. It's also been quite 36 degrees Celsius. Sorry, I'm a bit bright. Yeah, at the start of this video, I wanted to find out the best Ducati sports bike for novices on track, the friendliest. And I'm afraid my stupid conclusion, it's the 215.5 horsepower V4s, which is about 26,000 pounds. It feels just so easy, and it's not necessarily easy to go fast. It just has no kind of flaws, really. It's not trying to buck and weave, it's not trying to kick you off. It's just smooth. The pad livery is really smooth, the brakes are really progressive and super duper strong. I wish I could still get a bit more purchase on the tank with my legs, and it is a bit small for me, but my god, what a machine. I mean, I went out for the first session this morning, the second session on the Panigale V2, as I showed you. That was fun, but it was hard work. This is magic. This is an amazing motorbike. If you ever get the chance to ride a Panigale V4, don't be put off by the peak horsepower figure, the price, or anything like that. You'll have an amazing time on it. I mean, but that said, the Supersport 950, I mean, that was fun, but it was decking out. Didn't really want to be here. It needs to stiffen the suspension up quite a bit. And yeah, the Panigale V2 was mega. And the Street Fighter V2 was very good, but for me, a naked riding position on a track just doesn't quite work. Moving the top half of my body is something I struggle with anyway, and a naked bike just makes it a bit harder. There's Chad, who's just been tutoring me. Did we come to some sort of conclusion then? In order, best. Panigale V4, Panigale V2, Street Fighter V2, Supersport 950. I'm very sweaty, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. If it's been helpful, please hit like. Do subscribe to the channel, I've got plenty more videos coming soon. And I'll see you when I'm not dripping buckets from my forehead. Sorry, it's disgusting. Goodbye.